Good evening, everybody. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again with another live stream. I want to talk about current events tonight. First of all, big shout outs to all the customers at AfricanSuperstar.com. Thank you guys for showing your love and support for over 3 years. We've been in business. I appreciate everybody, especially our repeat customers. Yes, holla. Big shout outs to our members only who support our platform on a monthly basis. I couldn't be here without your support, guys. So thank you so much to members only. I will be providing a members only video during the course of this week. So make sure you stay tuned to your community tabs for those uploads. And last but not least, all the music lovers. Yes, the African Superstar music lovers. I have to, sound like a broken record. I received a nomination for my track For Every Action. There is a reaction. I'm currently up for an award here in Ghana. Best Emerging Female Vocalist, and we are currently in the lead in regards to votes. Thanks to the family. I would like to ask that you guys continue to send your votes in just so that we make sure we don't lose our lead. Yes. And so tonight I'm going to talk about a current event. Something that happened in Missouri. Several of you guys have actually forwarded me the story, but I heard about the story. I heard about it actually from Sister Yara. I know Ajike has reached out and talked to me about it. And what I want to specify is what I have basically been preaching for a very long time, which is issues and violence that the diaspora encounters in the West is relevant to the entire diaspora. Many African migrants like to act like these things don't pertain to them. They like to act like it's never going to be them. It's not going to, they don't live that kind of lifestyle. Or they don't run in those kind of circles. And we have a situation that just happened in Missouri. Now, what's interesting is they have not publicly come out and said that the family was African that's been affected. I learned that actually listening to several interviews in which the young boy's mother, which her name is, let me see what her name is. Her name is Cleo Nagabi. Now that sounds like an African name to me. And furthermore, when I heard the mother speaking on the interview, you could actually hear a bit of her accent. So I'm not sure if the family is Cameroonian or if they're Nigerian, but it's very obvious to me that they are, a migrant family, basically. So the situation is there was a young guy. I'll play the clip a little bit further into the broadcast. 16 years old. He lives in Kansas City, Missouri. He was instructed by his mom to go pick up his, younger twin brothers from, a play date or something like that. He mistakenly went to the wrong house, and the owner of that house, which was an elderly white man in his 80s, pulled out a gun and shot the 16-year-old. Simply, he rang his doorbell, was at the wrong place, and he was shot 2 times, once in the head, once in the arm. Now, fortunately, they weren't fatal. They definitely were intended to be fatal. I mean, when you shoot someone in the head, and from what I understand, once he was shot in the head and he kind of fell down, the elderly man shot him again in his arm. So he was obviously, trying to not disarm him if he felt that the young guy was a threat or anything like that. But he was shooting to kill that young man. The thing that I want to preface about this is the family is clearly African. You can do your own research. They haven't explicitly come out and said this family, their origins. It's very obvious, though. In the moment that 16-year-old went to, essentially a neighbor's house, this person lived in his community, and was, I believe, like a block over from the correct location. When that white man saw the young black man ringing his doorbell, he immediately sprung into action. There was no clarification of, oh, this is a Black American, oh, this is an African, oh, this is even a teenager. It was a Black male. And his first reaction, was to shoot to kill. this is something that our people need to understand, you know, which is we are seen and categorized the same all around the world, and especially in America. Okay. From what I understand, this young man, he is a honor student. He plays classical music. He doesn't get into trouble. He's very helpful in his household with his siblings and his mom and dad. But none of that stuff could prepare him for what he was going to face. What he met was unbridled racism. That's what he encountered. Okay. And so now I'm going to show the clip. So you guys that have not heard of this story, you know, I would hope that this certainly reaches Continentals and African migrants. You need to be sharing this in your communities, because many cases people have this attitude that it's not their problem and they don't need to be concerned about it. They're just minding their own business. They're just going to work. They're just going to school. There have been multiple occasions in which I have highlighted on this platform where people are minding their own business, doing things such as shopping in grocery stores, riding trains. You know, there was a Ghanaian councilwoman that was killed a couple months ago, gunned down, you know, outside of her home. You can't sit in water and not be wet, guys. I always tell you. You know, and we are ignorant and naive to try to, you know, what we're trying to do when we want to ignore these things is relinquish responsibility. That's what we're trying to do, because we're just trying to estrange the potential of it happening to us from ourselves for one reason or another. Oh, that's those Black Americans, you know, that's those gangbangers, that's those, well, they should have listened to the cops. Well, they live that kind of lifestyle. Me, myself, I'm a professional, you know what I mean? It's not going to happen to me or my kids or my husband or my family. Let's go ahead and get into the clip and hear from the family. Guys, make sure you like the stream if you're here. I'm talking to Continentals. I'm talking to African migrants. Listen, the gun violence that's happening in America is just as much your problem as it is any other member of the diaspora. Okay? With rampant school shootings and shootings in all type of public places. And in this very instance, I mean, let's watch a story and you tell me what you think.
Now to the growing outrage spreading after a Kansas City teenager was shot in the head. That teen mistakenly went to the wrong house to pick up his siblings. ABC News reporter Alex Perez has more details.
This morning, protests in Kansas City after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot by a homeowner when he mistakenly went to the wrong home. Police say the high school junior's parents asked him to pick up his siblings at an address on 115th Terrace, but he accidentally went to a home on 115th Street, where, according to his family, he was shot in the head through a glass door after he rang the doorbell. Yarl recovering in the hospital.
This child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard to make sure there is justice.
The shooter, who has not yet been identified, was taken into custody, then released pending further investigation.
You do have a police department that is listening, that cares, and we take all of these cases seriously.
Hundreds took to the streets demanding the shooter's arrest.
This should not be the fate of Black children.
The family hopeful for a full recovery.
Ralph will feel a lot of love, because this is a lot of people. It's amazing.
And authorities say at this point there's nothing to indicate this shooting was racially motivated. It remains unclear when exactly a decision on charges could be made. Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
Okay, so obviously there's a lot of news clips on this. This one was not a comprehensive. The one that I actually wanted to share during this broadcast was too long. They said it was too long for me to add it in, where the mother actually speaks. And that's when I realized, oh, wow, this is an African family, you know, because I could hear her accent and obviously her name and all of that stuff. So now they have officially classified this as a racially motivated situation. The 84-year-old white male that shot the 16-year-old has now been arrested and charged because woo, this is rich. So we're going to get into it tonight. A lot of our people will obviously make excuses for non-Black people, okay? A lot of times. One of the biggest excuses that they always use in these situations, from you know, police brutality, hate crimes, all kind of stuff, unnecessary force, you know, blah, 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 is they were scared for their life. Okay, that's exactly what this elderly man said. Now, in this situation, there was a boy who rang the doorbell. That's all he did. He showed up at the wrong house. He rang the doorbell, and suddenly he was an imminent threat. Okay, there was no forced entry into the home. There was no shouting. There was no weapons. There was no, you know, any kind of interaction with this person. He literally saw a young Black man and decided, I'm going to shoot. It's totally racially motivated, because if it were a white boy the same age, this situation would not have occurred. You know, I keep trying to explain to you guys that we cannot live peaceably with these folks. Okay. They have created the narrative that they then want to utilize to victimize our people. And I bring up this situation because, you see, it could be any of us. It could be any of us. It could be any of our children. It could be, I'm pretty sure in some way, shape, or form, if you guys have ever been lost on a road trip, gone to a wrong home, maybe got drunk, something like that, and showed up at a wrong place, let me see a number one. Has anybody ever been lost in the past? Huh? Maybe when you were a teenager, maybe you were delivering pizzas or the newspaper or whatever, you went to the wrong place. This could legit be any of us. And based off of the color of our skin, we are now a threat and danger. This is what, again, African migrants need to understand. You know what I mean? This gun violence, this gun culture in America, you can try to ignore it all you want. You can try to stay out the way all you want. You can try to tell yourself that, you know, you're just minding your business all you want. You can. But guess what? You know, I guarantee this young man's mother, I'm pretty sure that was her attitude too. She sees all this stuff going on. She sees the gun violence. She sees the police brutality. She sees the school shootings. And somehow she thinks, oh, you know, we are safe from this. We live in a good community. You know, my son is an honor student. You know, we're both professionals. You know, and look at this. What do you guys have to say about this in the comments? Big shout outs to the family. I'm going to go ahead and get into shout outs today. Yes, Africans they're already becoming more and more affected as it goes. I've already reported on a few stories this year that have specifically affected either Ghanaians or Africans. And this is yet another story. Now, again, I was able to deduce from the mother's accent that she is definitely not an American, born and raised in America. I'm not sure where she is from because they haven't said it. Her name looks a bit Nigerian to me, or Cameroonian. And I know that both of them have significant communities in Missouri. So, you know, I don't know exactly where, but I know that, you know, this has yet again touched the African migrant community in America. What's up? Willie Tebb is here. He says another Black guy was literally eaten to dead insects in an Atlanta, Georgia jail. The images are horrible. I saw the story in the Washington Post and Twitter. Yes, I did see that as well. Apparently there was a young man that went in for a kind of a minor charge, I guess. And they deemed that he had some mental illness, so they put him in solitary confinement, and they found him unresponsive, and his body was covered in bed bugs. And so they're led to believe that obviously, you know, he was in an infested, you know, situation without any care, you know, no type of cleanliness and this and that. Guys, this is, I mean, I don't know. I believe in prevention. Okay. I believe in preventing, your probabilities for being involved in a lot of things, reducing those probabilities. Okay. If you are doing unlawful things or you're running with unlawful people, then what recourse do you have when they're mistreating you? You don't have recourse when they are framing you, when allegations are being made and they're not true. All the more when you are now in those situations. You know what I mean? Now you, for one reason or another, now you've gone to prison. They will neglect you. They will ignore your pleas or cries or whatever. They will, do whatever they want to do because they have that jurisdiction now. You've put yourself into that situation. I'm not saying that he deserved what happened to him, but I'm saying when you toy with certain things, guys, they will utilize those things to the best of their ability. This is why, for instance, if you're having interactions with the police, like let's say you like to ride around with no car insurance, you like to ride around with no license, you like to ride around with broken tail lights, or you like to speed on the freeway. Okay. In some way, shape, or form, you're in the wrong, right? You're doing things that are not the way that they should be. Now, although it's not fair that they're going to treat you differently than the next person, you have now heightened your probability because you're giving them a reason to have an interaction with you. You're actually setting the stage thinking that, no, I have rights, and no, I'll get my Miranda rights, and no, they can't just do this and that. If you give them an inch, they'll take them out. Now, that's not necessarily the case of what we're talking about tonight. This was just a complete, genuine, terrible situation where a teenage boy got lost, went to the wrong house, and got gunned down. And it's a miracle, really, that he did not die. And from what I understand, he's been released from the hospital because his family are medical professionals. So they prefer to take care of him at home and monitor him at home. And again, yet another problem, the healthcare system, the racial disparity that we face even there. So that was probably a concern of his family, knowing how the healthcare system is, knowing how he may not receive adequate or fair healthcare because he's Black. They could be saying, hey, this is a 16-year-old gunshot victim, and just start stereotyping and judging him. Oh, he's a gangbanger. Oh, he was, doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. And, he deserved what happened to him. Their perspectives are always twisted when it comes to us. So his family, fortunately, I guess he's stable enough to go home and they can handle him there. But we put ourselves or remain in certain difficult situations that are heightening our probability for danger and ultimately, fatal consequences, because we want to just ignore it and act like it's not, like it's not as imminent as it really is. Big shout outs, guys. Please make sure you like the stream. I'm talking about it tonight. Africans, hey, this is another thing that you need to realize. This young man, he may be born and raised in America, but his family are from elsewhere, and he's now become a victim as something as simple as getting lost, which could be any of us. And when the white man saw the young Black boy, he didn't stop and say, oh, wait a minute, you're from Ghana. You're from Nigeria. Wait, are you Haitian? Oh, yeah. No. I'm going to save these bullets for the Black Americans. He saw a young Black boy and thought, yeah, I'm about to shoot. Probably in the back of his mind, finally I got the chance. Or maybe he's done it in the past. Big shout out to the family. Brown Coat Blue says, I'm telling people, just wait to see what happens in the next few years. People think it's a game. Just wait till the 2024-25 political cycle. And that's another thing. They have been revising some of these racist laws, in the last few years. They brought back some Jim Crow type of laws in the South. I know they've recently got rid of Roe versus Wade. There are a lot of people in our community that you know, utilize Planned Parenthood services and all that kind of stuff. Guys, you know, I mean, I talk about it on a daily basis, but I don't know, you know, and I really do believe and feel that the problem of one Black man is the problem of all of us. Okay, that's why I felt that it was imperative for me to get out of America. Okay, they don't care that I'm a college graduate. They don't care that I'm very talented and beautiful. They don't care I have a loving family. In certain situations, when I get there, I'm just going to be a Black person, a Black woman, or whatever, or a nigger. Okay, certain situations I could potentially get in. My life has no value to them whatsoever. They don't care. And that's what you guys got to understand. They're willing to gun down a 16-year-old boy for any old reason. And some of them, they want to do this. They've been wanting, that the hatred that they have for our people is so deep that, you know, the occasion to unleash violence, they cannot wait. They're willing to shoot first and then ask questions later. They also know that the judicial system favors them. Okay, and the clip that I just showed, I'll show it again for those of you guys that have joined. Make sure you like the stream, guys. In the clip I showed, they said that they brought the man in for questioning and then released him. Okay, for further investigation. Now, he has now officially been charged. The shooting happened last week. So since, you know, the breaking news and everything. So he's now been officially arrested and charged for this. And they are now saying, obviously, the situation was racially motivated, obviously. Because if it was a white boy that showed up in the same circumstance, we wouldn't have had the same outcome. That's how you can deduce that it's racial. Hello. No weapon, no forced entry, no confrontation, no conflict, no previous, you know, anything to indicate anything other than racial. And this could affect any of you. Brown, coat, blue, exactly what I just said. They see it as a chance they've been waiting for their whole life, a chance to kill and get away with it. Absolutely. Big shout outs to the family. Armu says, as a father of African children, 2 males and 1 female, this hurts. I've worked in administration and delivery. It can affect us all. Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. Psychological observer says they're from Liberia. So I was right. I said Nigerian or Cameroonian, but they are an African family. Huh? They are an African family. A lot of you African migrants, you have feigned any connection to the fate of so many other Blacks in America and UK. You want to estrange yourself? Huh? You want to say, no, this can't happen? My kids are good. I'm good. I'm a professional. I'm just here to work. I'm just here to get my money. I don't want to get involved in all that political stuff. You see, because now the problem is so out of control in America. Okay, it's seeping into every crevice. It's seeping into every crevice. And I tell you guys all the time, right now, this is the most deadliest year in America for gun violence. Okay, they're having mass shootings every single day since the beginning of this year. They've already had more mass shootings this year than days of the year so far already. Okay, more mass shootings than any other nation in the world currently. You are a fool and being foolish if you don't think that it can touch your household, your associates, your kids, your family. You are being foolish. I know personally lots of Africans that live in America, and they really try to pretend that these things are not going to affect them. And I can't obviously assume this Liberian family was the same, but probably thought, hey, you know, I have nothing to do with this kind of stuff. This gun violence is not going to touch me. Thank you so much for providing that information. Brown Coat Blue says any infraction is their permission to get at you. Again, African migrants, they're ready to unleash on you, me, Brown Coat Blue, anybody. Any infraction, just like he said, any problem, any mess up, any slip up, any altercation, any disagreement, they're ready. That's the justification that they need to enact their deepest fantasies and dreams. You guys think they're your friends. You think it's all good. You think that, oh, it's a Black American thing. Okay. They shout out to the family. Armo says, I was about to say the same thing. Even the medical professionals knew he'd be safer at home. Absolutely. The disparity with how we are treated in the healthcare system is a huge problem in both America and the UK. Neglect, malpractice, just a cavalier, nonchalant attitude to our people. You see, we apparently look at the world in rose-colored glasses because many of our people refuse to see these prejudices. And we just think, no, they're going to do the right thing because they got to do it. People say, no, Gina, they took an oath. They took a medical oath to do the right thing whenever. Yeah, but guess what? Their biases are prevalent in every facet of life, period. Judicial system, healthcare, education, police, everything. In this case, this old man shot this boy. God only knows what was going through his mind. Okay, but apparently he didn't inquire as to, hey, what are you doing at my door? Just a simple request could have said, hey, I'm here to pick up my brothers. And then he could have realized, wait a minute, are you at the right house? What are you talking about? But there was no discussion. There was no probing questions. The Black boy didn't even deserve any of that. The Black boy just decided to get shot in the head and potentially die. He didn't shoot him in his leg or foot and then call the cops and say, hey, somebody just tried to enter my home or whatever story he wanted to give. Shot him in the head and then again in the arm when he saw that he went down. This problem is the problem of any Black person living in the Western environments. Let me reiterate. You Africans as well. Yes. This family is Liberian. Ralph could have become the next hashtag. Realistically, it's just a miracle that he's not. And I'm sure he's got the road to recovery, needs to heal and, all that kind of stuff. Maybe physical therapy. There's going to be medical bills, the ramifications. It's not over just because he released from the hospital. Big shout out to the family. Isesa says, I have had interesting interactions with continental Africans that come to the States. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? Brown Coat Blue said, this old man figured, hey, I'm 80. This might be my last chance to get one. He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. Even if they charge him, what they gonna do? Even if he goes to prison, which, I have no confidence in the American judicial system. They literally let people get away with murder. There'll be videotapes and witnesses, and it will be blatantly obvious that people are guilty and have committed crimes, and somehow they get released, they get acquitted, whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if some kind of, loophole allows this old man to get out of his actions. And again, even if he does go, gets charged, goes to prison, how much time is he going to do? It's safe to say that Ralph, the young boy, is going to suffer more than the old man because, he's got to heal. This is a long road. He might have complications in the future or health problems in the future as a result of this today. I know personally, I have a friend, she's no longer with us, but she was a gunshot victim. And her road to healing was years and years and years, and she never fully healed because she became paralyzed by, her incident, which was basically a jealous boyfriend shot her and damaged her spinal cord, and she became, she had a wheelchair and stuff. She was paralyzed. So it was something that was ongoing, you know what I mean? Until she passed away. She had complications. She was in a wheelchair. It completely changed her life. When you have these kind of incidents, the road is long. But I want to encourage y'all to just avoid the whole damn thing. Because, you guys are trying to hold on to a morsel. Some of you guys, you just don't want to face the music. And again, a lot of you African migrants are not being honest with your family and friends here on the continent. You don't want to. Did you forward this story to them? Huh? And if we have any Liberian viewers, did you send it home? Did you tell your community? Oh my God. Can you imagine Cleo? This is what happened to Cleo's son. Did you tell him? Huh? Or you just still flashing money? You still popping bottles on Instagram? Huh? You still flexing, living out your foreigner dreams. You don't want to keep it real. Well, more and more Africans are going to start encountering it. Yes, they are. They already are, but more and more and more and more. And as the American diaspora and the British diaspora, they're migrating out of these locations and going into the international community, moving to Africa. They're giving you guys visas like left and right to go travel to Canada, to go to America. You're going to be taking our place. The caps in these people's guns that are meant for Black Americans, they'll settle for Africans. They'll settle for Caribbean, because to them, we're all the same. So it'll be just as gratifying for them to gun you down in the streets as it would be any other, Black person of the diaspora. Shout outs. What's up, family? Sam Game said, you should know then trust the white man's world. It has no value. Trust the white man's world. It has no value. Big shout out to the family. Armo says, your character is your character. Things, position, or people don't change you. A bad person is bad wherever they are with whatever profession they choose. Absolutely. He's referring to, the disparity in the healthcare system, which is real. This is why we face a lot of prejudices in everyday facets: education, the police department, healthcare, judicial. It's because basically racist people are in these positions. And you guys expect that they're going to be ethical. And you guys think they're going to go by the rules. And you guys think they're going to be fair because that's what they're supposed to do. But guess what? They're bringing their personal biases in. Okay? When you're in need, you're in the hospital, they don't see, oh my goodness, this vulnerable, sick patient needs my attention. They see an N-word. They see just another, Black woman, just another Black man. Oh my God, this woman's here again. She's having another baby. Oh, this guy's here with a gunshot wound. What did he do? Little do they know, your racist uncle, cousin, neighbor shot me for no damn reason. Or one of your police officers shot me for no reason. That's why I'm here with a gunshot wound. Case of mistaken identity or whatever. That's what they used to say back in the days in the 90s when they would profile you for no reason. Oh, you fit the description of some other criminal around. You're driving a nice car. Oh, this car fits the description of a stolen vehicle. Lies, 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 lies. They're good at it. But I'm here to, again, petition, continentals, African migrants. Hey, this is very much your problem. This is very much your problem. It's now seeping into your own communities. You want to live in America. You want to think that you can somehow circumvent what's happening to all other folks living in America. You cannot. If you're smart, you will start planning your evacuation. You will start looking at your plan B. If you don't want your children to potentially become hashtags for yourself, because this is affecting everybody all the time. There was a shooting a couple weeks ago at the bloody bank. Just imagine going to the bank to make a deposit or withdraw. Just imagine you're there to go to your safe deposit box. Just imagine you're at work. Are gangsters going to the bank? Are drug addicts going to the bank? These are everyday working folks, people, any and everybody goes to banks and stuff like that for transactions. You could literally be doing anything, guys. You could literally be doing anything anywhere in America and meet these kind of situations. So playing dumb is dumb. Okay? Feigning, responsibility because you don't want to address it. I tell you what, I'd rather take these, periodic power outages over here in Africa, rough roads, cultural differences, foreigner price. I'd rather take all these situations, network on my phone, whatever. I'd rather take all those potential situations than these fatal encounters or near fatal encounters that you guys are dealing with in America. Because guess what? The light might go out for a couple hours. I live to see another day. Car might be bumping along on the road. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Network problems. I'll call you back later. Or better yet, meet me somewhere. Let's meet up, have a meal, and chit chat. That's what we do a lot of times here in Ghana. We have power outages. We go to hotels. We go to the pool. We meet up. We go out to eat. We just say, hey, let's just go chill until this situation's over. You feel me? Big shout out to the family. Prince Ayoko is in the building. I see you. What's up, Roots Reggae Girl? Hi, sweetie. Good to see you. What's up, Neil Kadori? I see you there. Prince Ayoko says the world is going crazy each and every day. Black people being targeted every day. The most important solution is to build our unity. Ginger says, hey, Gina, they're going to learn when you arrive in this land, you Black. They don't care where you're from. For everybody, I'm going to go ahead and share this story just in case you're not updated. Again, this is not the latest on this story. There's been new developments as of today, but it wouldn't let me play the very longer clip. So bear with me.
Now to the growing outrage spreading after a Kansas City teenager was shot in the head. That teen mistakenly went to the wrong house to pick up his siblings. ABC News reporter Alex Perez has more details.
This morning, protests in Kansas City after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot by a homeowner when he mistakenly went to the wrong home. Police say the high school junior's parents asked him to pick up his siblings at an address on 115th Terrace, but he accidentally went to a home on 115th Street, where, according to his family, he was shot in the head through a glass door after he rang the doorbell. Yarl recovering in the hospital.
This child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard to make sure there is justice.
The shooter, who has not yet been identified, was taken into custody, then released pending further investigation.
You do have a police department that is listening, that cares, and we take all of these cases seriously.
Hundreds took to the streets demanding the shooter's arrest.
This should not be the fate of Black children.
The family hopeful for a full recovery.
Ralph will feel a lot of love because this is a lot of people. It's amazing.
And authorities say at this point there's nothing to indicate this shooting was racially motivated. It remains unclear when exactly a decision on charges could be made. Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
Okay, guys, so again, there has been new development since that clip. That's not the latest clip. Currently, the assailant, which is an 84-year-old white man, has now officially been arrested and charged, and they are indicating it's totally a racial situation. So they were saying in that broadcast, there was a little bit of ambiguity with that, but that is now the latest. And this is a Liberian family. And that's why I have this title, as in Africans are going to begin to be more and more affected by the American gun violence. Many of them, like I said, try to pretend this issue doesn't pertain to them, and they're going to get a rude awakening. Because when Ralph showed up at that neighbor's house, the neighbor didn't take any time out to decipher who he was or his ethnicity or anything like that. All he saw was, hey, there's a young Black guy at my door and I'm going to shoot to kill him. you know? And a lot of you African migrants just seem to think that, you know, bringing your kids up in America, it's the place to be. They're going to get a good education, you know, and all this kind of stuff. You just don't know. You know, I would say American students are probably in the most dangerous environment in the world currently, because there are mass shootings happening in their schools daily, and that's not occurring anywhere else in the world. Not here in Ghana, not even in the UK, probably not in Asia. I don't know much about what goes on in Asia, but mass shootings is a massive problem, and it is almost exclusively an American thing, because the government will not do anything regarding the gun control. And do you know why that is? Huh? Do you guys know why they don't want to do anything regarding their gun control? It's to protect the white people. Hello? Because white people love guns. White people love guns. So to restrict the white people, they don't want to do that. To, you know, get the guns off the streets, they don't want to do that. You know, they don't even, I mean, laws can't stop what's happening. You know, they even have a dumb, stupid phrase, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Are you an idiot? Hello? It's an accessibility thing. Okay? Even legally registered guns are being used in these mass shootings and these school shootings and these random shootings. So it's an accessibility thing, but they're not going to do anything about it, guys, because it is a benefit to white people. So they're not going to find any way to deal with it. Sam Game says, I suggest African migrants start owning guns. I mean, that's not going to help. 1 gun plus 2 gun equals 3 guns. Or 1 gun plus 1 blunt gun equals 2 guns. Okay? So more and more guns. If Ralph's family happened to have a gun, would that have saved him? No. If the old white man wasn't allowed to have a gun, would that have saved Ralph? Probably, because he wouldn't have had the gun ready to go. He had the gun ready to go, loaded and everything. Might be sitting right next to his front door. You know, any occasion to fire at somebody, he's ready to do it. There's been incidents of, you know, UPS, FedEx drivers getting shot, getting, you know, trying to deliver parcels and stuff like that. Guys, listen, the solution is to get out of those situations. That's the solution, realistically. Not adding a gun. Adding a gun is not going to alleviate this problem. Okay? That mentality, that's an American mentality, you know? Okay, the gun issues, you know, there's shootings every day. I need to arm myself. That's how they solve it. Not eliminating it at the root. Why does everybody have guns? Why are they being used in all these situations? How can we reduce this from happening? But that's just my opinion. You know, obviously I know Americans believe, you know, to just compound guns. I mean, that's kind of how we've gotten to the place that we've gotten to now, where a lot of people are armed and, you know, I got to protect myself, you know, self-defense, and everybody's carrying. Well, a lot of times when they are using these guns, they're not even using them for the context that they're supposed to be, which if you're trying to use it to protect your property, you know, according to the Constitution, your right to bear arms is to protect you against the government, okay? Or, you know, potentially an intruder on your property. That's what it was there for. It doesn't cover mass shootings. It doesn't cover school shootings. It doesn't cover police brutality. You know, what is happening frequently and what people are actually utilizing guns for is not the constitutional context at all. You know what I mean? Does what happened to Ralph, does that consist of self-defense? They might try to say, but Ralph didn't have any gun. And he didn't aggress against the man at all. Is ringing a doorbell a threatening thing? So how are you going to get your pizza? And how are you going to get your parcels? You know what I mean? And what about the Jehovah's Witnesses? Bishops, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Perfect moment. I see you in the building. Prince Ayoko says, this is another reason why I love Mother Ghana. You just can't own guns anyhow. Facts. And, you know, in addition to that, we have an appreciation for life here in Africa. You know what I mean? We rather sit there and debate and discuss a problem or talk it over with the pastor or go have boys and talk to our girls and get a WhatsApp group. And we rather do all this kind of stuff to talk about problems we're having or disputes and stuff than pull out a gun, pull out a knife, and do something so finite over whatever situation. Again, like I said, in this case, that white man could have easily diffused the situation and said, hey, why are you at my door? You know, I'm not expecting anybody. The boy would say, hey, I'm here to pick up my little brothers. You know, is this such and such address? They could have diffused that situation. But the point is, the white man didn't want to do all that. Okay. The white man was trigger happy. He's ready to pop off. He saw a black boy. He doesn't care anything about the black boy, anything about his family history, nothing. He just saw a black boy. Great. It's my opportunity. And then I'm going to say I was scared of my life, feared for my life, and claimed self-defense. You know, I don't know if they have those stand your ground laws in Missouri like they do in Florida, where, you know, if you feel threatened, you can then stand your ground and kill somebody or shoot somebody. Again, more protection for the white people, more protection for their vicious, violent nature. Let's just give a blanket law that they can, you know, if they claim they feel threatened, if they claim that they were in danger, they can shoot and kill anybody. Just like George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was harassing Trayvon Martin. He was following him around. Okay? He killed him against police orders, and everybody knows he did it, but he got off free. Big shout out to the family. What's up, Isaac Wren? I see you. Brown Coat Blue says private security in the U.S. is exceedingly expensive. That's the reason only celebs and billionaires use it. Global Green Book. What's up? What's up? What's up? Rain of Africa. Big shout outs. What's up? Sam Games, they didn't send him alone. He was his parents were in the car. His parents were in the car. He went up to the doorbell because I saw a longer, you know, another interview with his mom, and she kind of specified that, you know, he was just supposed to go from the car, ring the doorbell, and come out with the boys, and all this stuff happened. You know what I mean? So he was not alone. He was not alone. Thank God he wasn't alone. I mean, he could have died. I mean, you know, if he didn't get medical attention soon or something like that. Big shout outs. Or just imagine, you know, if his parents sent him to go there and then, you know, an hour or 2 hours he didn't turn up, you know, it could have been bad. I mean, was the white man going to call the ambulance for him? Hello. I know you guys like white people. No, you love them. Think they're so good and moral right. Was he going to call the ambulance and say, oh my goodness, you know, I made a mistake. I shot a teenager. I don't know what's going on. He would have let him just bleed out on the place and said, oh, well, hey, you deserve it. You should have never rang my doorbell. Big shout outs. Yeah, let Roots Reggae Girls telling y'all to get the likes up. We got 53 of you guys. Hello. What's up? Well, you know, Armo says, I said I was leaving and I'm still here. It's all fun and games until you're the next hashtag, guys. It's all fun and games until it touches you. It's all fun and games. And I guarantee, you know, that those of you that are claiming to want to try other things or come to the motherland or whatever, I guarantee that if that day comes and this stuff that's going on all around you and affecting so many people all around you, when it touches your household, you will deeply regret. You will deeply regret not doing the necessary and a proactive strategic thing. Trust me, you will regret. You know what I mean? It's just like any other thing that you've told yourself you're going to do. You know, oh, I'm gonna buy that sock tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna go to the shop and pick blah blah blah. I'm gonna take my car for maintenance. when you neglect to do these things and then whatever happens, you're like, damn it, I knew, something told me. The writing is on the wall. And for you African migrants, you know, in many cases, you have property here on the continent, you own land, you have family here, you have a lot of things that you could utilize in your transition, for instance. Or even if you just want to get your children out of that situation and say, you know what, I want my child to just go to school in Liberia. I want them to go to school in Nigeria, Ghana, or whatever, you know, to give them a safer learning environment. Do it. Because when it touches your house, okay, it's all fun and games right now. You know what I mean? It's all fun and games. Because for instance, I have a large platform. And I dread the day when someone contacts me and says, Gina, I should have listened to you. Guess what happened? Blah, 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 and tells me the story. You know, I'm going to send my condolences. You're going to feel terrible. You're going to have regret. Okay. The way to prevent this is, again, strategy and being proactive. Looking all around you and say, you know what? This environment is dangerous as hell. I'm going to go ahead and develop my evacuation plan. And I'm going to go ahead and get out the way before it gets too hectic. I'm going to begin the steps to preparing my emergency evacuation plan or preparing my alternative options in my homeland or in Africa or in Mexico or wherever you're planning on going. Big shout out to the family. Yes. Brown Coat Blue says, anytime there's an excuse to claim discomfort or fear, they just act up. They love canceling all Black history classes because they say it makes them uncomfortable. Global Green Book says a lot of ADOS are not speaking up because the African family was those who praised Zadie. Very, very sad. They did not prepare that young man how the colonizer is in America. Well, again, you know, a lot of African migrants, they want to estrange themselves from, you know, Black Americans or a lot of things that has happened to Black people in their environment. They want to just kind of act like it doesn't pertain to them. I think this should be a wake-up call to African communities, you know, that again, the fate of one Black man is the fate of all of us, because to them, they don't recognize all of our unique differences and cultural differences. They don't. You know, shout outs to any African migrants that are watching my channel. Hello. Have you ever been mistaken for a different African nation? Let me see a number 2. All my African migrants. Have you ever been mistaken for another African nation? So you know, you meet somebody and they're like, oh, are you from Nigeria? And you're Kenyan. Or you tell them, yeah, I'm from Ghana. And they're like, oh my goodness, I got a friend of mine that's from South Africa. Do you know them? You know, or they see your name and they're like, oh, where are you from? Who are you? Okay, that's an indication that they don't know who the hell you are and they don't give a damn who you are. They don't know your tribe. They don't know your country. They don't know your language. They have no idea, but they know that you appear to be a Black male or a Black female. That's all they need to know to start giving you what they feel you deserve. Okay, they are not our allies. They are not our friends, and they're not going to come to our aid in times of crisis. Duh. And I know you guys wish they were. I know you guys wish they were all the things that you have been groomed to believe that they are. But again, actions speak louder than words. Big shout outs to the family. Isaac Wren says it's dangerous here in America. By the day, so many Black people are losing their lives. Antonio says we need to keep alert to what's going on in the States. Big shout outs. What's up? Tiger says Black Americans know the areas in the U.S. that are dangerous because we've been there centuries. Africans don't. They do well to stop separating themselves. You know, I mean, there's a lot of scar tissue between the diaspora. You know what I mean? Africans have had their own negative experiences with Black Americans. Black Americans have separated from them as well as African communities have separated themselves, and all this stuff remains true. But I mean, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that the plight of one Black man is the plight of all of us. We would do well, as Tiger said, we would do well to start finding some common ground with each other and stop, you know, exacerbating certain things that have become wedges between our community. You know, so I wanted to talk about this topic because, again, it's a Liberian family that was affected. I know that they probably just never thought anything like this would happen to their families. You know, a lot of African migrants, the way that they, you know, feel like they're walking away from all their troubles here on the continent and going to America. You know, many of them feel like, oh my God, I would just go to America or England no matter what was happening in Africa. Well, I guarantee your child will not be gunned down here in Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe. I guarantee in all them countries, your child will not be gunned down going to a wrong house by mistake, looking for his brothers. It's a fact. You know, an innocent mistake, very costly. Could have cost that young man his life if it wasn't for a miracle, if something wasn't protecting him. You know, big shout out to the family. Global Green Book says, I will not go into certain neighborhoods, both Black or white, for different reasons. You better learn about the country before you move. Brown Coat Blue says, we used to use the Green Book to know where we go safely. It might be time for someone to start that project back up again and make sure our immigrant brothers and sisters get those books so they know. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up. For those of you guys that, you know, come along or have entered late, you can check the playback. Again, a 16-year-old, you know, Liberian American boy was shot in his head and in his arm when he mistakenly went to the wrong house to pick up his twin brothers after like a play date. Okay. And this just symbolizes how, you know, we are all in the same boat. When it comes to dealing with non-Black people, we are all in the same boat. And the same boat is they don't like us. They don't respect us. They want to harm us. And they group us all together. So whether or not you want to acknowledge it, you want to just keep playing stupid, you want to keep playing dumb, you want to keep acting like it's nothing that you need to be concerned with, well, I would say that's very ignorant on your part. And I hope that, you know, I genuinely hope, you know, I genuinely hope that none of my audience directly becomes, you know, involved in these situations. But I know that it's just a matter of time. You know, it's just a matter of time. As my platform grows, the probability grows, I will be, you know, exposed to more and more people. And those people are living in those environments and going up and down every day, sending their kids to school every day, going to grocery stores, doing everything. The probability is high that it's going to touch you and me. You know, the only way that you can reduce your probability is not by being in those situations. That's the only way. You know, Sam Gaines thinks you should just get a gun, but I mean, that's not even going to protect you. In some cases, you may not have an opportunity to respond. You know, I often put myself in these situations. Okay, what would I do? You know, what would I do if there was an active shooter? Are you already in the mindset that you're ready? You know, your gun's ready, you pull it out, you shoot. You know, you got to be the kind of person who is fast reacting and can recognize the situation and all that stuff. In some cases, you may not be able to do anything about it. What if it's happening behind your back? What if you're walking or you're in the gym or you're listening to music? You don't have any concept of this stuff. You know, unless you're a killer, unless you're a violent person like this old white man who had his gun loaded and ready to go. So he didn't have to delay. He was ready for an invader or something like that, or a threat, or, you know, whoever, that he could just take that opportunity. Okay? He didn't have to take any time to load up his gun. As fast as that boy rang the doorbell, he was shooting. So he was ready to go. But everybody's not like that, you see? All right, family. Big shout outs. What's up, Tony Africa? Thanks for stopping by. Ginger, I see you. It is very sad, sad story. But if we're smart, well, my bad. I'm sorry, I'm smart. But if you are smart, you will see what's going on and make appropriate decisions based on what's going on. Duh. That's what it is. If you're not ready, you'll get ready. Okay? You will learn from other people's mistakes. Okay? You know, and you will get yourself and your family out of harm's way before it touches your family. The probability it touches your family is high. You guys have actually been fortunate up until now. And I'm sure some of the people in my audience have known people, had friends, you know, probably some people in your family, maybe. You've been fortunate, fortunately, to not be a direct person affected. Think about all the things that you have avoided. Some of these things have happened in your states. Some of these mass shootings, you know, some of these situations, they've happened where you live, not far from where you live or close to you or whatever. You've avoided them up until now. How much luck do you have? How long are you going to keep escaping? You know, 6 degrees of separation. One day it might be your turn. I encourage you to think about it. There's going to be a mass shooting probably at a school tomorrow. They've been having them every day. Will it be your kid's school? Will it be your nephew's school? Will it be the school where your family member teaches? Will it be the university where your niece and nephew goes to school? I don't know. And people can say it's scare tactics, but it's factual. It's legitimate questions you should be asking yourself. All right, family, I've gone in enough. So big shout out to the family. I hope this was a thought-provoking message for all of you. Again, big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Everybody sending votes. Those of you are members only, I'm going to put out a video for you this week. And all the lovers and supporters of the African Superstar Music Project, we're going to bring our award home on the 6th of May. So please, guys, keep sending in your votes so that we can, you know, go ahead and just keep that lead. We're currently in the lead. I post it every Friday on the community tab so you guys know where we stand. So we're doing really great. And I just want to say a special, special thank you to all the family. Make sure you guys like the stream, share. Definitely African migrants, any Liberians that watch my channel, please circulate this in your communities. You know, start having that difficult conversation with your family members back home on the continent and let them know, hey, this stuff is affecting us too. You know, this stuff is not just limited to New York or Chicago. This is in our community. This is happening to people that we personally know. All right. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.